Fear is the thing that keeps us as human beings from achieving and accomplishing everything we're capable of. It keeps us and limits us from fighting through challenges, from putting ourselves out there, from getting out of our comfort zone. And the reality is, it's not the challenge that's the problem. It's not the obstacle. It's not the comfort zone. It's us. Edmund Hillary said it best. He said, it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. So I want to talk to you about fear, what it is, how it manifests itself, and how to conquer it so you can achieve everything you want to achieve. We all consider ourselves to be exceedingly rational, thoughtful, and that we're able to look at data and make informed decisions. And that's from the conscious mind. And when we're conscious and thinking rationally, we can do that. But we have another side to our mind. It's the subconscious. And what happens there is it's always trying to protect ourselves. And the status quo, not making a change, is a place of safety because we know what's there. And so change represents risk. For a lot of us, we consider, unfortunately, fear is a stop sign. So as we're going along, fear tends to rise in a linear fashion, and then it spikes. And it feels like a stop sign that you can hit, and it could completely derail you on whatever change you're looking for. Changing career, changing lifestyle, joining a franchise. I'll give you a healthier way of looking at it. Really what fear is, it's a yield and proceed with caution sign. And what I mean by that is fear should be used for what it is. Just your body's way, your mind's way of saying, hey, you've never done this before. Just think it through before you make a decision. And you should use it to get all the information, the evidence, the facts, the data, anything necessary to make a smart decision. And when you look at fear not as a stop sign, but as a yield sign, it enables you to make a much better decision by using your fear. And so in franchising, for example, when you're feeling fear, that means you should do a great due diligence. You should talk to the brand and ask them questions. You should ask me questions. You should conduct a really strong validation when you're talking to franchisees. And we'll give you the questions to do it. But you should not let it stop you. And I think if you see fear as a proceed with caution instead of a stop sign, your life is going to be so much better in so many ways. Fear is a normal response that you have to any change. So how do you use fear to help you make a better decision? Well, the reality is fear is your way, your body's way, and your mind's way of saying, hey, this is different. You've never done this before. And you can do two things with it. You can run away from it and never achieve your goals and limit the opportunities and the successes you have in life. Or you could do what I'm going to recommend, which is to embrace fear and say, this is a good thing that I'm scared because it's going to make me, so in franchising, for example, do a great due diligence and learn everything that you can so that you can make a really, really informed decision. It may help you slow down the process and ask good questions. So if you're my client, you might ask me a lot of questions or the brand. But in every aspect of your life, fear is not your mind's way of saying no. Fear is your mind's way of saying, hey, slow down, be thoughtful, be diligent, and make the right decision. So life improves with change. When we stay the same, we limit ourselves. The reason we don't change as easily and quickly as perhaps sometimes we want to is because stasis, your home state, that's the preferred way for people to live. So we default to the status quo. I like to say inertia is not just Newton's first law. It's also the first truth of human behavior. That despite our motivations, goals, desires, all the reasons we want to change, we often don't change because it doesn't always feel like the sensible approach. And it's not sensible in the sense that it's different than what we're doing. And difference is hard for us. So I encourage you not to get stuck in inertia. It takes more energy to change than it does to stay the same. And yet, it is once we get beyond our comfort zone and beyond our fears into a new place that the magic occurs. So don't let fear limit you. Inertia is going to keep you in place. Use your energy to go where you want to go. As I mentioned earlier, Fear is a normal and natural part of any change process. And if you're not feeling fear, you probably should. So what are some of the typical fears? The first one is just fear of change. Anytime we're doing something different, we're leaving our comfort zone. That's naturally going to engender some fears. In addition, we have fear of failure. And for most of my clients, that is something that they shouldn't fear because they've had a tremendous amount of success in everything that they've done in the past. But we all have a little bit of imposter syndrome in us. Can I duplicate this? Do I have skill gaps, right? Maybe I've not done something exactly before, so I have these gaps. So those are just some of the basic forms of fear. But like I said, fear is natural. And next I'm going to talk about how do you manage fear to be able to move forward in a powerful way. How do you know if you're struggling with fear? Oftentimes you will feel yourself catastrophizing. That is looking for all of the bad things and sort of piling them up and really building your fear up. That's one thing. Another thing is you're looking for reasons not to do something. That's your fear speaking. And you don't necessarily want to be looking for all the reasons to do something. What you want to have is a balanced approach where you're looking for reasons why it makes sense, and you're also looking for reasons why it doesn't make sense. And you're doing sort of that Ben Franklin analysis where you draw a line on one side, here are the pros, here are the cons. That's the balanced approach to managing fear. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you'll catastrophize, you'll find no's, because there's always a reason not to do something. And conversely, there's always a reason to do something. What I have found is that very few people regret their decision a year, 2, 3 years later to join a franchise. And 60, 70% of the people who choose not to move forward call me in the future saying, hey, can we reconnect? Because I think I made a mistake by not moving forward. We talked about fear. Now let's talk about how to manage it. First thing, if you're exploring a change like franchising, you're challenging your status quo. So know that you're going to have fear. Normalize it. First thing. Second, get the facts. The fear, like we talked, should motivate you to do a better due diligence. So get the facts and assess the fact. The facts will help to keep your fears down or will rise them up because the facts you're getting are negative. Whatever the case is, manage it. Normalize fear. Discuss it. Discuss it with your consultant. Discuss it with your spouse, with your friends. It's normal that you should have it. When you question something or you don't understand something, it's okay. Go ahead, get clarification, get support. Ask people questions. There's another thing that we tend to do. We overweight opportunity costs and we put more value on what we're currently doing and the current path we're on than we probably should. So try to balance things as you're assessing it. Be open to redefining yourself and believe in yourself, redefining yourself. If you define yourself as a corporate person, it's going to be really hard to make a change. But if you define yourself as entrepreneurial, but working in a corporate space, it makes it a lot easier to change. And like I said, believe in yourself. Your ability to succeed in one environment is easily duplicated in the next and the next and the next, because it's those intangibles that led to your success that will continue it. So if you believe deeply in yourself, your change will be so much easier. Fear is not something that should limit you. Fear is something that should help you make a better decision based on evidence, facts, data, information. So recognize fear, recognize it for what it is, have it help you make the best decision for you, your family, and your life, but definitely don't let it limit you. You can achieve anything you want to achieve in life so long as you manage your fear. Be well.